You're listening to LanguageCaster.com's Football Language Podcast. Hello everyone and welcome to the show for all those who love the beautiful game of football and who want to improve their English language skills. My name is Damien and I'm based in London where the weather has been slightly better this week. It's finally stopped raining. What's the weather like where you are? Damon, the other member of the Learn English Through Football podcast team, has told me that the weather in Japan is finally cooling down. I think they had a really hot summer.
皆さんは LanguageCaster.com を聞いています。
That message was in Japanese, and we'll have some more stingers throughout today's show. Can you guess what languages they are? Right, on today's podcast, we will be looking at some of the football language from the past week, and in particular from the second round of fixtures from this season's Champions League. We will also look back at some language from both the Liverpool and Tottenham games from last weekend. Of course, that's Damon's favourite team and my favourite team. And of course, we'll also look ahead to this weekend's football in our predictions competition.
Hi, my name's David. I'm from London and I'm an Arsenal fan, and you're listening to LanguageCaster.com.
Yes, that stinger was from an Arsenal fan, and I am sure that they are all feeling very happy indeed after their late win against Leicester in the Premier League last weekend, followed by a comfortable win over PSG in the league phase of the Champions League. Indeed, many pundits called this a statement win, a phrase that we posted about earlier on in the week. Now, Arsenal have 4 points from their first two Champions League games. That's the same as Manchester City, but neither of those teams are at the top of the new competition league. 7 teams have 100% records. They have won both games, including surprise package Stade Brestois from France, 2 more English sides in Aston Villa and Liverpool, as well as last season's runners-up Borussia Dortmund. Okay, let's take a look at some of the language that has come out from some of these second-round matches, including mismatch, convert a penalty, and to be rocked.
Hola a todos, estáis escuchando LanguageCaster.com.
Last season's Champions League runners-up Borussia Dortmund hosted Scottish side Celtic earlier in the week, and they thrashed them 7-1. They were 5-1 up at half-time in a completely dominant performance. Celtic were completely outplayed, and Dortmund looked so much better than their opponents that we can say that the game was a mismatch. Now, a mismatch is when there is a clear difference between the two sides, a difference that suggests that they shouldn't even be playing against each other, as it might be seen as being unfair. There were other examples of mismatches in the league stage of the Champions League, including Young Boys of Switzerland, who were thrashed 5-0 by Barcelona. That's their second defeat, while Slovan Bratislava have lost both of their matches by 5-1 and then 4-0. So we could say that they've both been involved in mismatches. Perhaps the biggest shock of the round was when holders Real Madrid lost in France against Lille. This was their first loss in over 35 games, and the first time that they had lost a Champions League game since May 2023. The Guardian newspaper used the word rocked to describe the defeat, which means that Real Madrid were shocked to lose this game. They were rocked or extremely surprised to lose. But don't worry, I'm sure Real Madrid will be back in the semi-finals or final at the end of the season. Now, Lille scored their winner from a Jonathan David penalty, and we are now going to look at the phrase convert a penalty, which means to score a penalty. So, David converted the Lille penalty. Now, in the Red Bull Leipzig versus Juventus game, the home side converted a penalty to go 2-1 up in the second half. Here's what the Guardian said about it. Juventus levelled through Dusan Vlahovic in the 50th minute, but went 2-1 down when Sesko converted a penalty in the 65th to put the hosts back in front. In the Girona versus Feyenoord game, both sides failed to convert a penalty. They both missed their penalties. Feyenoord went on to win 3-2 in a really action-packed game. Own goals, last-minute winners, and 2 penalty misses. They failed to convert their penalties.
State ascoltando languagecaster.com.
You can find out more about some of the words and phrases that we have already discussed in today's show, as well as hundreds more football expressions and cliches by coming along to our football language glossary.
Je luistert naar languagecaster.com.
Next up, myself and Damon are going to be talking about some language from Tottenham and Liverpool's victories last weekend. First up, Manchester United versus Tottenham, to tear apart. So if a team tears another team apart, it means that they have easily defeated them. They have been far superior to their opponents. To tear something means to break or rip it, especially material or paper. My team Spurs had a great away win at Manchester United last week. They won 3-0 as they tore Manchester United apart. Here's how the BBC described it. Spurs, even without injured Son Heung-min, tore Manchester United apart. So, Spurs tore United apart. They easily won the game. Another way of saying this would be they ripped them apart. Here's Damon talking about the Wolves and Liverpool game.
Damien, you must be pretty pleased with Tottenham's result, the same as Liverpool's a few match days ago. United were well and truly torn apart by Spurs, weren't they? I'm definitely pleased with Liverpool's result, a 2-1 away win at Wolverhampton Wanderers, or Wolves. That win put Liverpool top of the league, at least until all the games have been played this weekend. For this match, I'm going to focus on Ibrahima Konate, one of Liverpool's centre-backs, and the football language attack the ball. Of course, we all know that to attack is used in football. If a team attacks the other team, they push forward and try to score. We can have an adjective too, an attacking player, or a noun, a dangerous attack. The phrase to attack the ball is usually used to describe how a player heads the ball. If they attack the ball, they powerfully head the ball, aggressively run and jump to head the ball. This is exactly what Konate did for Liverpool's opener. Jota swung in a great cross right on the 6-yard box line, and Konate rose and attacked the ball, heading down and past the goalkeeper. I wonder if Liverpool will stay top after this week. I also wonder how our predictions battle is going. Am I still top? Here's Damien.
Okay, let's take a look at the predictions table, and yes, Damon, you are still top of the table. Going into this weekend, you are on 30 points, which is 3 ahead of me, with the guests back on 23. Let's see what happens this weekend. We have games from the Premier League, the Bundesliga, and a big derby from Spain. Let's start with that derby in Spain, which features Sevilla hosting their city rivals Betis. I've gone for a 2-1 win for Betis, while both Damon and the guests, which this week is HB Sauce, have gone for a draw. How about the big game in the Premier League? High-flying Aston Villa, fresh from a wonderful victory over Bayern Munich in the Champions League, take on underperforming Manchester United. And Damon has gone for a Villa victory. But both myself and the guest thinks that United will bounce back and win. I've gone for 2-1 and the guest has gone for 3-1. What do you think will happen? Have a look at the other games. We've also got Brighton and Spurs. I think Spurs might win that one. Fingers crossed. We've also got Eintracht Frankfurt hosting Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. I think Munich will be too good for Eintracht Frankfurt. Let us know what you think by posting here on the site or on our forum page. We have a prediction section there.
Sie hören gerade languagecaster.com.
And if you have any questions or comments about any of the language from today, or indeed any other football language, then drop us an email at admin@languagecaster.com. And don't forget, we also have a football language forum where you can ask and answer any questions you have on the language of football. Come along, take a look, and join in the football language conversations. And don't forget, we also have YouTube as well. You can find lots of our podcasts with transcripts there as well. Spread the word, give us a like or a follow.
คุณกำลังฟัง languagecaster.com.
Thanks for that message, which was in Thai. We also heard some stingers in Italian, Dutch, Spanish, German, and French, as well as Japanese at the start. How many of those did you guess? Thanks everyone for listening today. We looked at the phrases mismatch, to convert a penalty, and to be rocked, as well as attack the ball and tear apart. Let us know if you hear these words in any language during this week's football. Don't forget, there's a transcript for this podcast with lots of vocabulary support. Enjoy all the football this weekend, and we'll be back next week with some more football language. It's an international weekend. Bye-bye.